Wait have never been a good idea. I mean, what are you waiting for? Somebody else to take the initiative from you? You are actually putting your head in the sand, and that's never a good idea. You need to have leadership. You need to have decisiveness. You also need to have a plan. I wish that Europe would be at the same stage as the US when it comes to AI infrastructure, but we are far, far behind.
Hello, my name is David Wallén. I'm the CEO of Intric. Intric is an AI platform developed for public sector and companies who value data sovereignty. I'm here today with security expert Anne-Marie Eklund Löwinder. You're also entitled sometimes an internet pioneer.
Yes, that's correct.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I have a master in computer science, and I've been working with information security for about 40 years. So yeah, I've been around for a while.
Very impressive, very impressive. So I thought today we were gonna do 3 quick questions about AI and security.
Right?
Build versus buy.
Buy.
Experiment or wait.
Experiment.
US or Europe.
Europe.
All right, that was easy. Why don't you elaborate a little bit on a build versus buy? Why?
Yeah, the reason is that building can be complicated, and if you don't have the competence or the skills for it, you should avoid it. There are people actually expert on this, so they can do it for you. Unless you have something very specific that you need to solve, then it might be a good idea to build yourself.
And on this experiment or wait?
Well, wait have never been a good idea. I mean, what are you waiting for? Somebody else to take the initiative from you? Or experiment is learning by doing. So that will do you more knowledgeable about AI and how it works and what it doesn't work for. And, the more you know, the better you get.
Yeah, makes sense. I agree. And the last one, we said US versus Europe.
Yeah, that's a difficult one. I wish that Europe would be at the same stage as the US when it comes to AI infrastructure, but we are far, far behind. But I would really like, and I know that there is a lot of initiatives within the European Union to build and to get to that position, but that will take a long time before we are there. But then again, I still chose Europe.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah, nice. I agree. With AI, there's a lot of upside, but also potentially downside. What's your view? Is the upside worth the potential downside?
As a security expert, I am very risk aware, but that doesn't mean that I don't see the potential here. And at the end of the day, it's all about, taking care of the risks. You have to take care of knowing them. Just, get to know what the risks you have. Get to know what you need to do to minimize them so you don't get in trouble. But without risk management and without measurement and without mitigations, you are actually putting your head in the sand, and that's never a good idea. You need to have leadership. You need to have decisiveness. You also need to have a plan. We talked about that in the AI Commission, like leadership is very important. Someone needs to lead the organization towards the target you have put up for yourself, and with that say, okay, we are going to use AI, and we're going to do it in this way, with this policy and with this allowance, and to have a passive or reactive position with AI, that means that you are putting your future in somebody else's hands, and you don't want to do that.
That's a good point. In Sweden, we have a saying, I think, which applies here, which is hurry up slowly.
Yeah.
I guess it translates to in English. Yeah, I obviously agree with that. The upside is worth so much more than a potential downside, but it's a tricky thing to lead here because you don't want to be perceived as reckless, but at the same time you want to push the boundaries a little bit about what the organization can do. So I think it comes down to balance.
Yep. And security people today, they have learned that they are a part of the business. They are not just saying no, this is not allowed. They are trying to take, their part in mitigating the risks in a good way, so the organization still can develop. And with AI, the possibilities are, fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's only fair I can have some quick questions for you as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, what are the biggest mistakes your customers are doing today?
When it comes to AI, I think they try to predict the future too much and think too much about the details.
What do you think about AGI?
AGI, I think it's inevitable and we need to get there.
Right? And what about Swedish public sector? How far have we come in AI and the usage?
So if you compare it to Sweden versus the rest of Europe, I think Sweden is a little bit ahead. If you compare it to where we need to be, I think we are very far behind. I think with AI systems, there's of course a cost connected to the system, but there's also often a cost connected to how much you use the system. The big models sometimes cost each time you use them. You pay for tokens and this kind of things. And if you try to predict how much you will use it in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years, you don't know how the future looks like. The models will get cheaper, or you might not use it in the way you think you will use it. So trying to predict that for a big tender or something might not do you so good, because you don't know. And if you think too much about the details, how are we going to use it where, there's a risk you don't get anywhere.
Okay.
So I
you
see
get paralyzed.
Yeah, exactly. Analysis paralysis. I see a lot of organizations where you have a lot of, because I also want to be clear that it's good to calculate how much things will cost you, but it's bad if those calculations stop you from saving money today. So I see certain cases where you have a lot of use cases that are super easy to realize, and you could save a lot of money today, but you get stuck thinking about how will it look like in 5 years or 10 years. Yeah. When I say that we need to get there, if you break down what AGI stands for, it stands for the ability for a system to do any tasks that a human can do as good as a human. So if we get there, that means we can really have a system which we can instruct to do all the boring administrative tasks for us, so that we humans can focus on doing what we do best, which is take decisions, interact with other humans, and just live. So I think it's, in the purest sense, finally, living up to our true potential.
Right? Yeah. What about Swedish public sector?
Yeah. So the Swedish, Sweden in general and the public sector's adoption of AI is, I said that it's ahead compared to the rest of Europe for a few different reasons. First, a lot of organizations, municipalities and government agencies have started to use AI in ways that other countries have not. So we have started, and we have done the work of AI policy and like matureness analysis. We have done that, and we have also, since a long time ago, trained models on Swedish language, for example, and we have found out how good that worked. That's something that I see starting now in the Nordic areas. They are starting with that, so there we're a little bit ahead. Of course, not in all areas. There's a lot to learn, and so I think it's great that we're talking and comparing and looking what we are doing. But I also said that where we need to be, we are very far behind, and that is, of course, we have this demographic challenge where there's less people being born and increased pressure on the welfare system. So we need to move quicker if we're going to solve this sort of cliff that is opening up for us. So yeah, it's natural to say that we are far behind where we need to be.
Okay, thank you.